Welcome to episode 284 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Law Sky. It's August 11, 1999. Torquay, Plainmoor, Torquay United against Portsmouth, Worthington Cup, first round, first leg. Except there is no match, because this is also the day of the total solar eclipse, the first total eclipse visible from mainland Britain since 1927, and Devon police have a problem. Not the darkness, because floodlights exist. The problem is people. Thousands of eclipse-watchers are expected in the southwest. Roads, traffic, crowd control, emergency cover, tourists, football supporters, one seaside town, one police force. Something has to move. And the eclipse will not. So Torquay versus Portsmouth is postponed. Football loses to astronomy. But how did we get here? Start with the competition. The League Cup begins in 1960. A midweek cup. A floodlit cup. A competition for the 92 football league clubs. By 1999, it is the Worthington Cup. Sponsor name attached. Early rounds. 2 legs. Lower division clubs trying to catch someone bigger before the season has properly settled. Torquay are in the 4th tier. Portsmouth are in the 1st division. 2nd tier in today's language. So this is a classic early season cup tie. Smaller club at home, higher ranked visitor. Plainmoor under the lights. A chance for Torquay to make life uncomfortable. But the fixture lands on August 11, and August 11, 1999 has been sitting in the astronomical diary for a very long time. The moon's shadow is going to cross southern England, then continental Europe, then further east. Cornwall and parts of Devon are in the path. Torquay is exactly the kind of place people might choose. Coast, holiday town, English Riviera, a place where watching the sky already feels like part of the trip. You might think this would have been noticed at fixture planning stage, and maybe someone did notice, but not enough, because the issue becomes obvious once police and local authorities think through the day itself. A football match is not only 90 minutes, it is buses, cars, pubs, railway stations, away fans, stewarding, emergency cover, people arriving before, leaving after, and sometimes moving in the opposite direction from everyone else. Now add eclipse tourism. So the match is called off, not because the player could not see, but because the town could not sensibly absorb everything at once. That is the wonderfully human part of this story. The sky is predictable, the crowd is not. Torquay Portsmouth appears to be the football outlier, because other league matches go ahead that day, and across Europe, the eclipse path crosses France, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Romania, and beyond. But there is no wave of professional football postponements caused by it. This story is very local. And that is why it's so good. A total eclipse crosses a continent, and the football story is one midweek cup tie in Torquay. The match is moved 6 days, August 17, Torquay 0, Portsmouth 0. The eclipse match, when finally played, gives us no eclipse and no goals. Then the second leg at Fratton Park, August 24th, Portsmouth 3, Torquay 0. Portsmouth go through. No romance, no upset, no cosmic twist. The actual football is far less interesting than the reason it didn't happen on time. Portsmouth later lose to Blackburn in the next round. Leicester City eventually win the competition, beating Tranmere Rovers in the final. Torquay's eclipse adventure is over almost as soon as it begins. But so what? This is a reminder that football scheduling is never only football scheduling. A fixture is a public event. It sits inside transport, policing, weather, light, crowd behavior, and local life. And that is why Torquay Portsmouth matters. Not because it changes the Worthington Cup, it surely doesn't, but because it shows that a match can be beaten by something known decades, even centuries in advance, if the human logistics are wrong. Natural phenomena affect football in different ways. Some are known in advance, like an eclipse, extreme heat, tournament calendars in summer climates. You can plan for those, or, as in this case, fail to plan. Some are anticipated but uncertain. Thunderstorms, lightning, heavy rain, wind, snow. You know the risk is there, but not the exact minute. And some arrive so suddenly that the match has to become an emergency management exercise. Flash flooding, waterlogged pitches, visibility disappearing in fog, lightning too close to the stadium. And here, the examples are not funny at all. In 2012, Ukraine against France at the Euros was stopped after only a few minutes in Donetsk because a thunderstorm broke over the Donbass arena. In 2024, Germany against Denmark at the Euros was halted in Dortmund because lightning, hail and heavy rain made continuing irresponsible. And Danish football knows why that matters. In 2005, a 17-year-old Danish amateur player was struck by lightning during a match in northwest Denmark and later died. 9 other players were knocked over. In 2009, Jonathan Richter of FC Nordsjælland was hit by lightning during a reserve match against Hvidovre. He suffered cardiac arrest, survived, but later had part of his leg amputated. And Denmark is not alone. In Peru in 2024, José Hugo de la Cruz Mesa was killed by lightning during a local match near Huancayo. In DR Congo in 1998, the Benat Sadi tragedy killed 11 footballers during a match. That is why referees stop games, not because they're being dramatic, but because footballers on wet grass are exposed to humans being in studs. Interruptions can change results. Weather doesn't score goals, but it can change the conditions in which goals happen. Bodies cool, momentum dies, coaches get a second team talk, players reset, a side under pressure gets air, a side dominating loses rhythm. So the rules matter. What do you do when a match is abandoned late? Do you replay it, restart it from the minute it stopped, or let the score stand? In England, the old instinct has often been full replay unless competition rules say otherwise. In modern FIFA and UEFA competition regulations, the cleaner approach is usually to resume from the minute of interruption with the same score, same disciplinary record, and same match situation. That is more logical. But the real point is this. Every competition needs the rule before the emergency happens. You just don't want to invent justice in the middle of a thunderstorm. Weather policy has now become player welfare policy, and heat is the obvious example. At the 2014 World Cup, cooling breaks entered mainstream World Cup consciousness. By 2026, FIFA went further. Hydration breaks became mandatory in every World Cup match, regardless of venue or weather. 3 minutes, each half. I know, the dreaded hydration break. But the reason is serious. North American summer heat, humidity, travel, match load, player welfare, spectator safety. We can complain about rhythm and advertising and the way stoppages alter the texture of a match. But nobody should want players, officials, or supporters treated like accessories to television. Football has learned, slowly and sometimes painfully, that weather is not atmosphere, it is risk, and risks must be managed. Finally, the natural world sometimes gives football its weirdest poetry. Snow turning a match into survival, fog swallowing a goalkeeper at the far end, rain transforming a pitch into something between sport and plumbing, lightning turning entertainment into danger. And one day, in 1999, a solar eclipse reminding the Football League that the fixture computer may be clever, but the moon had booked first. Before we go, 3 things to take away from August 11, 1999. First, Torquay Portsmouth was not postponed because of darkness on the pitch. It was postponed because police could not manage the match and the expected eclipse crowds at the same time. Second, the rescheduled match was ordinary. Torquay and Portsmouth drew 0-0. Then Portsmouth won the second leg 3-0 and went through. Third, football has become much more systematic about nature because the risk is real. Lightning, heat, storms, fog, flooding, and crowd movement all sit inside modern match planning. On this day in 1999, Torquay United was supposed to host Portsmouth in the League Cup. Instead, the sky intervened, the eclipse came, the match moved, and football got one of its strangest, yet foreseeable, postponements. That is all for episode 284 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Laws Guy. I really like telling these stories. You can help me spread the word. We are almost at 500 followers. Amazing, right? When you rate the show 5 stars, or subscribe, or even share it with your friends, it gets pushed in front of new people, which in turn leads to new stories for me to tell. Thank you for all you do for this podcast. Tomorrow, go to August 12, 1964, when Independiente won Argentina's first Copa Libertadores. Hasta mañana.